All right, y'all. It looks like we have a show. We finally have a show. Okay. We're going to be talking about how Porsha Williams will be joining Gizelle Bryant and Candiace Dillard Bassett on the next season of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. The news just dropped via an exclusive from People Magazine. So we're going to dive all into the nooks and the crannies and talk about why this is going to be one epic show. Okay. Now, before we get into that, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button, and join the texting community. Okay. So let's head over to our friends at Queens of Bravo because you guys know I like to tell you where I first saw the news. So it looks as though People Magazine is reporting the news that Tinsley Mortimer is out and Porsha Williams is in. Okay. And so this is now looking like a show because it has so many implications, and we'll get into all of those in just 1 second. But for now, let's see what the People Magazine article says. So it says that Porsha is now packing her bags for the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. People can exclusively reveal. Now, they say she is joining the third installment of the popular Peacock franchise. According to sources, the show is set to begin filming July 18th in Thailand. She'll replace Tinsley Mortimer in the cast, who insiders say chose to exit production for personal reasons. This will mark the second time that Tinsley has dipped out on an NBC Universal, Bravo, or Peacock show. And I don't know if that's going to work too well for her moving forward. Do you guys think that she will be invited to the Real Housewives of New York legacy trip? That should be very interesting. So, would that be, well, I don't know if that's going to be a trip or not. I just know it's going to be I don't think it'll be like a whole full 18 episode season like what we've gotten from Real Housewives of New York, which they are allegedly done casting, I've heard, but I also heard that they weren't satisfied with the casting for the new Real Housewives of New York. But regardless, Tinsley is out of this show, okay? Now, mind you, I probably would have X'd out somebody else, but I think this will be fine because Tinsley don't really bring a lot of drama anyway. She's not very confrontational. She's just kind of she seems like a really nice girl, but she really doesn't bring it like someone like, say a Porsha Williams might bring it. Anyway, so yeah, that's a little bit of the dirt, but here's also what else is going on. So you guys know, apparently, well, you may not know this, but they've been filmed packing their suitcases already, and then they're expected to hop on their flights on Thursday, according to sources. Now, of course, no one from Peacock has yet to confirm the cast for the third season, and then people reached out for a comment as well as for Porsha and for Tinsley, but have received no comment as of yet. Okay. And we know that they're going to Thailand. So there's that. So my thought is this. So let's talk about the implications for all of this. And in case you guys aren't familiar with the current cast or the previous cast of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, let me clue you in. Okay, so initially I've heard some different configurations happen before this was the final the settled cast. But this is what we had previously, and we talked about it. But we had, of course, Gizelle and Candiace, because they were kind of speculating that this would be a dynamic duo sort of situation. And so you have Whitney and Heather from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. That makes sense. You have Alexia and Marisol from Miami. That makes sense. And then you have Tinsley and Leah. That sort of makes sense because they were buddy-buddy, and that's how sort of Leah got her introduction to the show, was through Tinsley. And so that sort of made sense. But Gizelle and Candiace, not so much, given what we have heard about what had happened between the two of them at the beginning of the filming season for Real Housewives of Potomac. No telling what state that they're in now, although for the I don't know if it was the final party for the season, which was I think for Candiace Dillard Bassett that was filmed. Gizelle was in attendance. I mean, as is usually the case for the finale, everyone's in attendance. So perhaps they ended off the season on a better foot. But, to me, this cast, something seemed missing, particularly when we think about the sheer star power and OGs from the first season, the sheer chaos from the second season of Ultimate Girls Trip. This right here just kind of left me feeling like, Candiace is going to bring it because Candiace typically does. Whether you like Candiace or not, you cannot deny that Candiace Dillard Bassett brings the spice to the Real Housewives of Potomac. Listen, it's undeniable. She's witty, she's intelligent, she is comedic. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel like she goes too far, but a lot of housewives go too far. Now that we really getting into some things, Dirty Dot and example, okay? So Lisa Rinna, and some of it even been, pleaded guilty to wire fraud, Jen Shaw. And so for me, I feel like, people come at Candiace because they say she hits below the belt. Well, I don't know anybody that hit below the belt more than either like a Brandy Glanville or Dorinda in this past episode of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. So for me, I feel like, okay. But anyway, I think it's settled. She's going to create some, she's going to stir up some stuff. Marisol is kind of messy. You know what I'm saying? Gizelle will get the party started with, kind of, get some drama started. But Gizelle is like I'm going to get the party started from over here. Okay. She's not so much confrontational or in your face as much as she is I would say like a confessional assassin. You know what I'm saying? Like she'll throw the shade behind your back and talk about you behind your back. But, I feel like Gizelle just does a job. That's, really what I think it is. But meanwhile, Heather Gay and Whitney Rose, they can definitely be a little bit of bad weather. And Leah, we've seen she can bring the drama and she can hold her own, but she's not really as well liked by a lot of fans. And Tinsley, of course, really don't bring nothing much. She's a cute girl. She's a cute girl, but I just felt like this wasn't the look. So another reason why this will be very, very interesting is because, as you guys know, when Gizelle Bryant and Porsha Williams hosted Bravo's chat room together, this was at the point of time when they also had to recap the altercation between Candiace and Monique on the Real Housewives of Potomac. And, for Porsha's part, she is friends with Monique. We saw Monique Samuels, on Porsha's, I think, it was one of the specials that she had, the first special that she had on Bravo. And then we've seen them on vacation together. So we know that they are good Judies. And so when it came down time to discuss the altercation, Porsha clearly was on Monique's side. And even when Candiace joined the chat room, Porsha definitely seemed kind of like, I'm going to be nice in this instance, but I don't really, she seemed kind of tentative about the guest or whatever. But it was a good episode nonetheless, and they didn't really get into it too much. Now, you guys may also recall Candiace kind of clapping back at Porsha in several interviews, one of which we have on the screen, where Candiace had told Porsha to stay in Atlanta with regards to talking about, the goings on with Candiace, right? Even after the altercation as well. So I'm interested to see how they get along. We know that we know that Gizelle and Porsha will get along. And Porsha is kind of a fun girl. So that's another reason why this whole situation makes so much more sense. And people are going to be more excited about it now, because with Porsha on the scene, you are guaranteed to have some laughs, some fun shade. She's going to get the girls lit, and it's going to be a fun ride. But Porsha's also not afraid of confrontation and not afraid of drama, and she knows what makes good TV. So when you have people like that, now we have a show, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have a show. But what this also could mean is she is continuing that relationship with NBC Universal, which also kind of gives hope to maybe her potentially coming back and doing something on Atlanta. But I think similar to Phaedra, it's like they kind of want to keep Porsha in their orbit because they have that relationship. And I wonder what this means for a Portia's Family Matters season 2. Let me know what you guys think about all of this down in the comment section down below. I know it's a lot to take in, and I'm speculating, and I'm happy, and I'm excited, but I just feel like this is ultimately going to be a great look for Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip season 3. Now I'm excited. Okay. At first, I was kind of like, I mean, I think Candiace and Gizelle are going to bring it. I actually do love Marisol as well. If you watch Real Housewives of Miami, and I have from the beginning. And I'm kind of excited about Heather and Whitney because they're kind of messy together. So I felt like that would be a good pairing. Leah, I'm not as excited about Leah because I kind of felt like she belonged more on Summer House than on the Real Housewives of New York City. And so I kind of feel like she was misplaced casting, but it'll be interesting to see what she's able to bring with this particular group. Because as with all the other Ultimate Girls Trips so far, we've seen the ladies in different lights in comparison to what they were on their own shows. On some of their own shows, like Teresa, she's a big dog on her show, but on Ultimate Girls Trip, she kind of faded into the background, and Melissa was the person that kind of stepped up to the plate to kind of get things started and was the more likable, powerful force in that house. So let me know what you think. Similar to Eva. Eva shines on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip 2, but I don't know if she was able to give what she needed to give on Atlanta. But this show, Andy even called her the MVP of Ultimate Girls Trip. So she made an impact. But anyway, that's enough for right now. I will get back with you guys for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills recap, and I will see you guys in the next video.